Hey, thanks for stopping by. For those who don't know, my name is Shiko, and today I'm getting rid of my locks. Now, I know what some of you may be thinking, especially those who know me, and no, this decision is not Rona related, okay? I'm not bored in the house and I'm in the house bored looking for something to do, and I am definitely not leaving this chair with some tragic quarantine cut done by a pair of sad, dusty, stay-at-home scissors. No, I've actually been thinking about this since October of last year, and after doing some research and weighing out the pros and cons, I've decided to comb out my locks. So, if you're interested in seeing how I comb out my 8-year-old locks and learn how you can do it yourself, stay tuned. Now, in order to get started, you're going to need 5 things. Number 1, locks. Yeah, I know this seems pretty obvious and not worth mentioning, but the way the internet is set up, I thought I should probably put that in there. So yeah, if you're doing this yourself, you want regular locks, you know, the kind that grow out your head, also known as dreadlocks, though I don't see anything dreadful about them. Next, you're going to need water. Now you can be fancy and use rose water, but standard H2O works just fine. And you're going to need a spray bottle or a bucket to put it into. Next, you're going to need conditioner, and lots of it. Now for this item, I would actually advise against using your favorite expensive conditioner, but if you want to, that is totally up to you. I won't judge, okay? Life is for living and living is for life. So choose whichever conditioner works best for you and your bank account. But the way mine is set up, I just went down to my local Dollar Tree to find the biggest bottle of conditioner I could get and ended up with Salon Selective's Marula Magic. It's enriched with vitamin E, it's sulfate-free, paraben-free, debt-free, drama-free, just everything you would need from a basic conditioner. And it works, so good job. Next, you'll need something to pick out your lock. Now, you'll normally see people using a rat tail comb, such as this one, but I actually decided to use a nail file. And the reason for that is it's a lot easier to grip than my comb. It's definitely a lot sturdier, and the spearhead shape at the top makes it really easy to penetrate my lock and comb through. So really it's up to you what you decide to choose. I would just say whatever it is, you need to make sure you're careful and choose the item that you feel works best for your hair, your process, and your desired results. And last but certainly not least, in fact most important, is you're going to need time. Oh, are you going to need time? Whew. Because this is a process. Now, the time it takes to comb through your lock definitely depends on how long you've been locked, the length of your lock, the thickness of your lock, but it still takes time. This is not something you're gonna get done in a weekend. And if you do, please put that down in the comment box below. Share with us the magic you put upon this process to make it last only 2 days, because for the rest of us, the 99% of us that are locked, it takes time. But if you are looking for the best way to retain the most amount of length while transitioning from a lock natural to a loose natural, then I got you. This is what you need to watch. This is where you need to be, okay? I got you. So the first thing you'll want to do is isolate the lock you'll be working on and secure the rest in a bun or a ponytail. Next, you'll need to wet the lock. Now, this step is so important because the wetter your lock is, the easier it will be to comb through, which is why I decided to use a bucket instead of a spray bottle. So I went down to my kitchen and commandeered this bucket, which I have henceforth declared as my hair bucket. meaning it's not going back in the kitchen because that's nasty. And after filling it up with about 1 inch of water, I'm just gonna go ahead and place my lock in. Now, just to make it clear, if you want to use a spray bottle, that is perfectly fine, okay? You could just go in, hit your hair with a little skeet of water, that is fine. But if you want your hair soaking wet, then you're gonna wanna use a bucket. So I just grab this, put my lock in, and start dunking. You know, just use what I refer to as the yin yang twins method of hydration, and just, you know, just dunk. Da 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 dunk. Da da dunk dunk dunk. Say it with me. Dunk da 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 dunk. Da da dunk dunk dunk. Okay. I'm such a mess. Now that you're done, we're just gonna go ahead and squeeze out the excess. I'm not gonna use a towel because, again, I want my lock to be wet. And since it is soaking wet, we're gonna wanna go through and squeeze out that excess. And once we're done, we can go in with our conditioner. Just like the water, the conditioner softens the lock, making it easier to comb through. So you definitely do not want to skip this step. In fact, you don't want to skip any of these steps, okay? They're all very important to the process. So continuing on with this hip hop theme, because why not? I'm gonna go ahead and grab my conditioner, and using what I will call the Joe Budden method, we're just gonna pump it up. And this is what I have here. That's definitely a good amount. And we're just gonna grab the lock, and focusing on the ends, really rub that through. Now, I've seen people put it throughout the length of the lock. You really don't need to put conditioner throughout when all we're doing is focusing on the ends. Now, of course, as we go on, we're gonna add more water and more conditioner. It's just, for now, no point in putting conditioner and water, and then it's gonna dry, and then you have to put it back on, and it doesn't make any sense. So I'm just gonna go ahead and rub that in, make sure it's really in there. And now we're ready to comb through. So I went ahead and got closer so that you can actually see. And securing the lock, I'm gonna hold it tightly, and using my tool of choice, which is a nail file, I'm just gonna go and slowly pick through. And you see that? You see it is just gliding through. I'm not feeling any resistance really, and it's just really simple to comb. So I'm just going to continue like that, piercing through and inching up the lock like this. Let me see if I can get it to the side so you can see the progress I'm making. And again, you just want to pierce through and slowly comb. Now, you see right here how I'm getting some resistance? This means one of two things. Either I have moved too far up and caught a knot, meaning I need to go down, or it's not wet enough, so I would need to go in with some water and some conditioner. But since we just wet this lock, I'm gonna go ahead and say that it's because I moved up a little too fast. So I'm gonna go down and pick a little bit around there, then going back into the spot. Now I can safely comb through and take out this shed hair. So when you see this, do not be alarmed, okay? You haven't lost any hair. This is actually shed hair. Whether you are relaxed or natural, curly or straight, your head naturally sheds hair. But instead of it just blowing off into the wind somewhere, it gets trapped inside of your lock. So as you're combing through, you're releasing months and years worth of shed hair. So a good tip is to have a trash bin or a trash bag nearby so that you can collect and dispose of all of that shed hair. So now that we have the technique, I'm gonna go ahead and continue to comb through this lock and show it all to you so you know how long it takes to go from tip to root. But before I get started, I want to go ahead and measure this lock so we know what it is we're working with. So starting from the base, I'm just going to go here. And to the very last strand, this lock is 20 inches. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you how long that takes, and we'll see what the final results will be. We are in the final stretch here. This is how much more I have to comb out. So hopefully I am done soon. So after 55 minutes of combing out my lock, this is the result. My hair is obviously not as long as my lock, and I didn't expect it to be, but it's definitely longer than it would have been had I just cut it off at the new growth. So taking my measuring tape, let's see how much length I was able to retain by combing out my lock. So here we go. From the root, stretching it out all the way to the bottom. This hair is about 8 inches long. And when I measured the new growth, it was about 1 inch. Now, of course, I'm going to need to trim my hair. So even if I trim up to 1 inch, that's what, 7 inches minus the new growth, that's 6 inches. So essentially, in 55 minutes, I was able to retain 6 inches, which is right in line with the average amount that our hair grows per year. So an hour for a year's worth of growth, probably more since we don't retain all of our length anyways. I mean, it's worthwhile, for me at least. And so hopefully if you are deciding to do this, this can just serve as a reference. Of course, everybody's results are different. How long you've been locked, the type, your hair type, of course, that all matters. And just as a note, when I decided to get locked 8 years ago, it wasn't to retain length. There are 1,000,001 methods to do that. I just got locks because I wanted locks. But now that I want to go back to my loose natural hair, I really want to retain as much length as possible, which is why I am combing them out. So again, here is how much I was able to retain, and now to just do that 100 more times. Whew. But I hope that you found this information helpful and that this video was entertaining. If it was, make sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you have any questions or comments, go ahead and write that in the comments box down below. I really had a lot of fun making this. It's actually my first YouTube video, but I do plan on coming back with more tutorials, more updates on me combing out my locks, as well as my journey after I become a loose natural. So if you're interested in following along with all of that, please subscribe. You can also hit that notification bell so you can stay in the know and not miss that next video. So until then, I hope you and your loved ones remain safe and healthy, and that your life and your edges remain blessed and not stressed. Thanks. Da da dun dun dun, sing it with me. Dun 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 dun. Da da dun dun dun.